Hey guys, it's Lindsey Victoria here from A Life Well Balanced. Have you been hearing the words plant-based or vegan popping up in conversations and wondering what all the fuss is about? Maybe you're wondering why on earth anyone would cut meat and cheese and dairy from their lifestyle. If those are your questions, then this episode is for you. I'm so excited to be interviewing a good friend of mine, Nathi Toro. Thank you so much for coming on the show today. Nathi is a plant-based chef here in Miami, and she studied under celebrity plant-based chef Matthew Kinney. She's currently an educational trainer at Plant Lab, which is a world-class plant-based culinary school. So if you ever decide to take one of their many cooking classes, she may just be your instructor. So welcome, Nathi. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you, Lindsey.
Yay! I've been wanting to do this interview for a while, so I'm glad we're finally nailing this down. You know, when I met you, you really opened up my eyes and my world to a completely plant-based diet, and that it can be fun and not boring, and that it's good, very good for you. So I guess I want to start the interview with can you just define like what being a vegan means or plant-based lifestyle and why it's the good way to be?
So thank you for having me here. And for me, the idea of plant-based is it has to be something connected to nature. It has to be something wholesome and natural, no additives, nothing processed. Basically, we eat everything that doesn't come from an animal.
Right.
You can go into a little bit of an extreme and not wear anything containing animal products, leather, or any derivatives. And you can be, there are many tiers of being plant-based or vegan.
Okay.
The more wholesome and plant-based and clean fruits, veggies, legumes, grains, anything that pretty much grows from the ground it's what we eat.
Okay. So things that come from the ground, anything simple.
Yeah, it's very simple.
Very simple.
If it doesn't grow in the ground and it comes in a package, don't eat it.
Okay,
basically.
there you go. A very simple way. You've been plant-based for how long?
Almost 8 years.
Okay. And can you tell me some of the benefits that you've had from going plant-based?
So when I started being plant-based, it was from one day to the next. I wasn't very healthy. Not necessarily that I was unhealthy. I was eating, I guess, the American way, which I never grew up with that. Okay. My background is Latin American, and I'm from Colombia, and we ate with a lot of veggies, fruits. But when I moved here, it was like a lot of like these new chocolate bars and cinnamon buns and ice cream. So I started eating that, and then because of that, I became unhealthy. And when I changed to plant-based, the first benefit I saw was like clear mind, better skin. Like it was an interesting glow to myself that I saw, and it was instant. And also I started doing a lot more exercise, and I saw that there was a lot of benefits from that. And obviously with that, it came to the point that my athletic performance became better. And that led me to the point of now being a plant-based chef. So,
wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So you had quite a bit of a turn, probably what a lot of people go, similar story, I guess, where lots of people decide to go plant-based. One of the main concerns that I hear from people when you talk about a completely plant-based diet is, where do you get your protein from? So
absolutely, yeah, that's what I get every day. Okay. Even teaching classes, or if I'm about eating with people, they're like, so where do you get your protein?
Right.
So unfortunately, again, going back to the American diet, we actually eat way more protein than we need. So if you think about the quality of protein in plant-based foods, is way better than animal protein, because it doesn't have the fat. It might have more carbs, and that's something that I'm okay living with.
Okay.
Because I'd rather have the complex carbs than eating the sad diet, and also including meat in my diet. So for us, eating a lot of green vegetables contains a lot of chlorophyll, which cleanses your liver, cleanses your blood, but also has protein. Obviously, to have a complete protein, you have to add a lot more things. So legumes, quinoa is a plant-based protein, hemp hearts, hemp seeds, complete protein. So if you add all of those into your diet, in your daily diet and your daily meals, you're gonna have a complete protein.
Okay.
And adding different nuts and seeds, pumpkin seeds have a lot of protein as well. So adding all of those, definitely you have more than enough protein.
Okay.
To go by.
That's really
day
good
by day.
to know. Okay. Yeah. Cool. We'll make sure we put a list of those, which she just described below the video, so you have them. All right. So then the next question, which I'm sure you hear a lot, is vitamin B12.
Yes. So I recently started listening a little bit more and researching more about B12. I personally supplement with B12. I take a vitamin B supplement, and you have to. Unfortunately for vegans, it's very, very specific where we can get the protein, the vitamin B12, I'm sorry. And the only ways that I found is if you eat a lot of mushrooms. And what I mean by a lot is a lot.
Okay.
Unless you find shiitake mushrooms that are dry. Okay. They do contain a lot of vitamin B12, but they have to be sun-dried. It has to be a specific way to get them.
So not fresh shiitake mushrooms?
They do have, but it has a lot less.
Okay.
So you have to have about 2.4 milligrams of vitamin B12 on your daily diet.
Okay.
And about a cup and a half of dry shiitake mushrooms might have 1.4, 1.5.
Wow. Okay.
Dried shiitake.
That's dried. Okay.
Fresh, it might have 0.4, 0.5. So you have to eat a lot of mushrooms.
You would need a lot of cups.
Yes. So ideally, you want to supplement. And also, I mean, you can find other ways to possibly supplement. There are a couple of the seaweeds, but there's also research that says that you can't really absorb it so much because it's not bioavailable for our digestive system. So you can still add them into your diet. It's just be mindful that you might definitely have to supplement.
Okay.
So
and
basically
there's a lot of good supplements and things out there. I think that's kind of recommended if you are.
Exactly. And also nutritional yeast, which I know it's like the biggest thing now.
Yeah.
Some of these things are obviously a trend, but nutritional yeast does have vitamin B12, but it has to be enriched with vitamin B12.
Okay.
Because it's not naturally available to nutritional yeast.
So you'd have to look for that on the label to see. Okay. I guess that kind of leads into, you've given us a lot of examples of the sort of vegetables and things that we can eat for vitamin B12 and protein. Like, what do you recommend we start eating if you decide you want to go a plant-based diet?
So what I tell everyone that asks me about this is like, keep it simple. Like, eat what you enjoy. If you know that you enjoy spinach, then just eat the spinach. If you enjoy fruit, then just enjoy the fruit. Obviously being mindful, and as long as you stay away from processed foods and start implementing a lot more of the veggies. I personally love root vegetables. Carrots, beets, I love them, but some people don't. So just find what you like, otherwise it's gonna be just a phase and you're just gonna hate it and not do it again and go back.
Right.
So going back to that question, it's also the reason why you're doing it. If you're doing it just for a trend, then it's gonna pass, like any fat diet. If you're doing it for, okay, I wanna get better, get healthier, I was prone to injuries before, I'm getting better with my injuries now because I train so much. So it depends on what your why is and what the purpose of your plant-based diet, I guess, is. And start with one change a week.
That's
adding something into your diet that you didn't know before, that you never tried before. It makes such a big difference. And you might like it, you might not, but at least you'll try it and you'll see if you like it.
Yeah, that's a really good tip, I think. I guess I'm mostly vegetarian, but I have been implementing more plant-based, meaning trying not to eat as much dairy and cheese. So for me, I'm not ready to completely give that up, but I'm doing the same thing that you're talking about. You go a little bit at a time and you kind of choose and decide, I don't need to eat as much of that. And you know, it's whatever fits with your lifestyle.
For sure.
Yeah. When I go into a grocery store, I get overwhelmed very easily. I don't really sometimes I don't know necessarily the places to look in the grocery store. So when you walk into a grocery store, where should I go to find the majority of plant-based or other vegan brands that you recommend in the grocery shop?
For sure. So, and it happened so funny yesterday. I was with a client and we were walking and she's like, where do I go? And I was like, just stick to the produce, stick to the outer sides of the grocery store.
Okay.
The only aisles that I go is condiments and oils.
All right.
Because I do believe fat is the fuel of the brain. So I definitely do have my olive oil and my coconut oil, avocado. So I'll stick to that aisle and then everything else on the outside. There are a couple brands, then again, I'm a chef, so I cook all day. But some brands that if I'm on the go and, you know, that I recommend. There are a couple good brands for pea protein milk. There's also, which I'm forgetting the name, I think is Ripple.
Oh yes, I've seen that one. Okay.
We can send those as well. Yeah. There's a good vegan plant-based supplement for cheese. The brand is called Chow, and it's made out of, it's not made with soy, which is great. So it's made out of coconut, And obviously you have to be mindful when you're doing anything processed because it has all the preservatives and it can be a little bit more caloric.
Yeah.
So if you're not exercising, you're kind of supplementing with other things and it's not necessarily going to be as healthy for you. And on that note, being vegan, you can also be a super junkie.
Yes.
You can snack on potato chips all day long and popcorn and all these things. So ideally just staying on the outer edges of the supermarket. I'm not a nutritionist, but always read your labels. Okay. And if you have a question, you can reach me. I mean,
you can leave, we like conversations, so leave comments below.
For sure. Any questions.
Of course. All right, now that we've talked about the plant-based substitutes and things that you recommend, do you think this is an expensive way of life? How could we make this affordable for everyone? Because I know that when you choose to shop organic, or if you're looking at the latest brand that's on the shelf, things can add up, and I just wanted to hear some tips if you have any.
Going back to keeping it simple. At first, when I became vegan, I wanted all the superfoods and I bought everything organic and everything like crazy prices. I'm not saying organic is not good. It is. If you can't find it, don't stress yourself. Like, it also comes in the mind and it's going to be healthy for you. Just wash it, put a little bit of vinegar, and just good to go. It's going to nourish your body anyway.
Okay.
I think it becomes very expensive when you start adding all the crazy superfoods. Which, by the way, I'm a super advocate of superfoods, but sometimes you go crazy and when you're adding the superfoods on your diet, you want to start with one at a time. You don't want to add like 20 to your smoothie because you don't know which one is giving you which benefits. And you don't know, maybe you react badly to one, you don't know which one it is.
Right.
So I will say just keep it simple. Start with fruits and vegetables and add some nuts and then go from there. You nut milk if you don't want to make it at home. I don't blame you. Sometimes it can be tedious and you forget and you go back to the easiest. So just buy an unsweetened, nothing added, almond, pea, flax, hemp milks. And just stick to the simple. That way, if you think about it, it's probably cheaper than buying meat.
That's true, because meat can be very expensive, especially if you're going for the grass-fed, organic. I hear that a lot. People, it's expensive.
Yeah, if you compare the two, plant-based is definitely cheaper if you keep it simple.
Right. Okay, so simplicity. Life is about simplicity.
It's better.
It's better. It's true. That is true. All right, well, now here's the next topic a lot of people want to know about is, what about my social life? What do I eat when I'm going out with friends to a restaurant, or I have an event and sometimes that's not available?
Okay, tip number 1, I eat before I go anywhere.
Good idea.
Yeah, either a snack or a small salad or whatever I can get my hands on, a fruit, whatever, depending on the time. And when I'm at a restaurant, I usually don't even look at the menu or just look at the sides. For the most part, restaurants nowadays, especially here in Miami, are pretty open to the plant-based and they might have some options. I try to always pick the sides, all the veggies. I try to do the salad just with olive oil and vinegar and lemon. And again, I'm not at all on a diet. I'm just trying to eat as much plant-based as I can. So by all means, this is not a diet. It's just more being aware of the sides. And then I'll just pick just the side veggies and a humongous salad with avocado if they have it.
Yeah, that's actually a really good tip, because I never really think to look at the side. So perfect. A lot of restaurants have sides and veggies, and you can get nice roasted asparagus and ask them to put it all together. I like that.
It's super simple.
Simple. All right, now I want to talk about traveling, because I love traveling. I know you've been traveling a lot, and I was on a road trip recently in the middle of Texas, and let me tell you, I was thinking, what on earth do I eat on a road trip? So what do you say? What do you think? Do we need to pack and prepare, or
ideally yes? I mean, definitely one thing that I've noticed with a plant-based lifestyle is that you have to be consistent and you have to be disciplined, because it's easier to get sidetracked with like things that gives us comfort from what we ate when we were younger. Right. By all means, I haven't been plant-based forever, so if I see, I don't know, some pastry that I grew up eating, I'm gonna lean towards that just because it's embedded in my brain. I ate it for so many years, so I try to pack as much as I can. But if I don't have, for whatever reason, anything to pack, usually if you're in the middle of like Texas, let's say, you go to a gas station and sometimes they have fruit, banana, a carrot, carrots, or they have Nuts. They're not the best nuts, but better than eating the potato chips.
Yeah, that's true.
And water, coconut water. I'll stick to those.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right. So say that we've convinced, I don't want to use the word convinced. Let's say that people are more intrigued and they say, all right, I want to have a more plant-based lifestyle. What are the steps that we should follow? And then I would love for you to give us some resources of
absolutely
websites, books, anything that you can recommend.
For sure. So when I started, anything that I could get my hands into. Books and definitely documentaries. I know there's one that recently came out last year, What the Health. That revolutionized the world of plant-based and how many people saw the industry and plant-based. It's a good one. There are other ones that I recommend, and I have them here. And the China study.
Oh.
And this book is, I'm going to read from the back because it's like interesting. It says, if you want to be healthy, change your diet. Unfortunately, because Americans, and it's just the way it's been for many, many years, we don't necessarily know how to eat. And it becomes more of an industry than actually feeding our body. And we're the richest, yet the unhealthiest in the world. So making those little changes, this book will open your eyes. It talks about the bad, the good, the best, and how to actually implement. It's from Tony Campbell, which I absolutely love, and his son. And they actually have another book that actually has like a more condensed plant-based meal plan kind of thing.
Yeah, a lot of these will probably have meal plans.
Yeah, so this book, amazing. This book, Julie Morris, I absolutely love her. And it's one brand that she uses a lot, which is called Navitas, and that's like a superfood brand. Very clean. They gather all the superfoods from the stores, and she has like 5 different books. My absolute one is the smoothies, mainly because it's easy. You can add, if you don't like so many veggies, you can just add them in, just put bananas and blueberries, and you can add a lot of things. She has great ideas on her website as well, which I really like. You can make them from the green to the most fruity ones and everything in between.
Cool.
So this one I recommend as well. And obviously our website, the school that I teach, Plan Lab. We do have a blog and we have a lot of resources. Obviously our kind of cooking is a little bit more gourmet and more elevated. However, we do have everything for everyone on the blog.
I was looking through the site the other day and it's nice, beautiful, it's clean and easy to read.
Yeah, very easy.
Which is what you need.
Yes, and Matthew Kenny's book, which I train under him, I absolutely love the way that we are kind of like changing the future of food for sure. And it's a revolutionary idea of how plant-based should look, because unfortunately when you eat with your eyes sometimes, and it has to look beautiful. So this book also, it's like one of my favorites. And then, let's see, for other resources, I guess we can put some other ones on the notes.
Oh yeah, on the notes. I'll make sure that I have links to those books specifically that she's recommended. So if you want them, you can get them on Amazon. And also, honestly, Nathi, you're a great resource for anybody who has plant-based. So make sure you check her out at Nathi Toro on Instagram. And your website, nathitoro.com. So we'll put links for all of that. And we would like to also give you a resource that will do, I guess, talking about just the resources as well as some brands or some tips of what you recommend.
Absolutely.
Like a kind of, I guess, a guide of going into a plant-based lifestyle. So we'll have that download below. And I mean, do you have anything else you want to say in terms of this plant-based lifestyle?
Sure. For anyone out there that wants to start, just take it easy, enjoy the ride. It might be bumpy. One day you might like, what am I doing? Just enjoy it. Keep it simple and be kind to your body, be kind to yourself. Don't stress. There's no labels. You don't need a label. And just go with the flow. If one day you fall off the wagon, get back up again. And it's a process that's never going to end. So that would be my last thing to say. It's just enjoy the ride.
Oh, those are really great words, and thank you for like closing with that, because I totally agree. And I think that keeping it simple and just exploring and being open. Honestly, it's about being open.
For sure.
It's about being open to exploring different ways and different styles of eating. So I want to thank you so much for coming on the show and talking with all of my viewers. So as always, guys, if you like this video or you want to share it with somebody, you found it useful, please do that. We always love feedback and seeing videos being shared. And I want to turn the conversation to you guys. So if you guys have explored a plant-based lifestyle or are interested, I want to hear like how it's been going.
Yeah.
Put them in the comments. Like, let's get a conversation going about what people think about this lifestyle and if people are actually enjoying it. So I think that's it. And as always, I hope you guys have a good one and we'll see you next time. Bye. Bye.